I need to know if I'm in the wrong here. My daughter basically disowned me because she's jealous I support my addict son while I charge my granddaughter rent. This Thanksgiving changed my life, and it's because of my jealous daughter. My daughter Kayla is 32, married with 2 kids. She owns her own house, has a full-time job, her husband also works, and they're comfortable. My son Jason is 41 and has had a very difficult life. He's always had a problem with substances and can't hold down a job. He has 3 children he's estranged from, and his eldest, Jenny, who's 17, lives with me. Jenny goes to school but works too, and she pays me $400 a month rent, which I think is fair. Kayla, on the other hand, does not. Jason calls me almost every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times. Kayla doesn't understand what it's like to see your child's name on your phone and know that if you don't pick up, there might not be another chance. She doesn't know how heart-wrenching it is to hear your child in need and do nothing. He's struggling and has been for a long time. Addiction isn't a choice, no matter how much people like to pretend it is. He tells me he's hungry, that the electricity might be shut off, that he just needs a little help until he gets back on his feet. I know he lies sometimes, I'm not stupid, but hunger is hunger, and fear is fear, even if it's tangled together with lies. I can't let my son suffer, but Kayla doesn't understand that. She's never liked hearing it. She's always been practical. She budgets and plans and has a steady life. I'm proud of her, but that's not enough for her. She wants me to take action, or I suppose stop taking action, to help Jason. There were times she'd come over and notice the fridge was bare. She'd sigh, open her purse, and set a few bills on the counter. For milk, she'd say, or bread, or eggs. I thanked her, of course I did, but there was always a look on her face. She'd say things like, "Mom, where did your money go this week?" And I'd tell her the truth, that her brother needed help, that his phone bill was overdue, that rent doesn't wait just because someone is struggling. She'd get quiet then, tight around the mouth, like I was doing something to her instead of for him. I raised my children to help family. I don't see how that became something I'm supposed to be ashamed of. Thanksgiving was where everything changed. I invited my son like I always do. He's my child. Holidays are for family, and they're the only time Jenny gets to see her dad. Kayla called me and asked, carefully, like she already knew the answer, whether he would be there. When I said yes, she went cold. "I'm not coming," she said, just like that. "Neither are the kids." At first I thought she was joking or bluffing. She's always had a dramatic streak when she doesn't get her way, but she wasn't. She said she wouldn't expose her family to him anymore, as if he was something dirty instead of a person who needed compassion. I cried after that call, not because she wasn't coming, but because she was trying to make me choose. A mother should never have to choose between her children. Jenny had started to act differently around me around the start of the school year. She complained that she paid rent, but there was never any food in the house, and she accused me of giving her hard-earned money to Jason. I started paying my way at 17. Why shouldn't she? Why did it matter to her where I spent the money? That's not the point of paying rent. It's about responsibility. She said she was trying to save to move out. I told her that was admirable, but I still needed her to pay the rent. She started going cold and quiet, like her Aunt Kayla does, and then one day she told me she was moving in with Kayla. She didn't even ask to discuss it. She just announced it. After she left, the house felt hollow, quiet, and, yes, tighter financially. That rent helped. My son noticed right away. He would call me angry, saying I'd promised him that money, saying I was choosing them over him now. I told him I'm down $400 a month. I couldn't just pull it out of thin air. Jason exploded at me and was furious that Kayla would get that money now. I tried to explain it wasn't my fault, but explanations don't mean much when someone is hurting. Jason called Kayla and shouted at her, calling her selfish and manipulative, but that's when he found out Kayla wasn't charging Jenny rent. She let her live there for free to save up for her own place. So much for me trying to teach her responsibility. After that, Kayla called me, and she was furious. She said I was enabling Jason and not helping him. She asked how I could think taking money from Jenny was teaching responsibility when I just handed it over to Jason so freely. She scolded me and shouted at me for a half hour that I'd been taking advantage of Jenny, and I was a terrible grandmother. She said I was the reason her brother never got better, that by helping him I was ruining him, ruining all of us. She said things I never thought I'd hear from my own child. I told her she was being cruel, that she didn't understand addiction, that she was punishing me for loving my son. I told her she was jealous, that she'd always been jealous of the attention he needed, even when he was still a child. She denied it, of course. She always did. That was the last conversation we had. After that, there was silence. No calls, no visits. Jenny stopped answering my messages too, as if she'd been coached. Kayla had turned her against me. It hurts in a way I don't have words for. How could she accuse me of such things? And she wouldn't even see me at Christmas. People say no contact like it's healthy or noble. I think it's selfish. It's easy to walk away when your life is already comfortable. It's easy to draw boundaries when you're not the one lying awake wondering if your child is alive. They think I chose my son over them. That's what they tell themselves. The truth is, I chose not to abandon him. There's a difference, even if they refuse to see it. I'm the person who's struggling to put food on the table and keep my lights on, but no one cares about me. I sit in my kitchen sometimes, staring at my phone, imagining it lighting up with my daughter's name. It never does. I imagine her telling people I'm toxic, that I'm blind, that I don't listen. But I know my heart. I know what it means to be a mother. You don't stop loving one child just because your other child demands it. You don't stop helping because the help isn't appreciated by everyone. If they want to punish me for that, that's on them. I will never abandon my son just because my daughter is jealous. And to make the situation worse, Kayla and Jenny are taking me to court to get back the 6 months' rent she paid me because Jenny was a sneak and took photos of the refrigerator and has claimed that I took her money for the purpose of household help and simply didn't provide it. I don't understand how Jenny could care so little about her dad that she would stop me giving the money I used to help pay his bills to keep his heat on and food on his table. Jenny claims Jason has never been a good dad or participated in her life, but she doesn't understand what he's going through, and she's being poisoned by Kayla. So now I potentially have to find $2,400 to give Jenny if she doesn't drop this claim against me. I suppose I'll have to take out a loan, that is, if I can get approved for another one. One day they'll understand. They'll see that all I ever did was try to keep my family together, and if they don't, if they stay away forever, I'll still know I did what a good mother does. I love both my children, but Jason needs more than Kayla to survive. She can't see past her jealousy, and I'm too old and too tired to keep fighting her. I know I'm a good mother, and no one will ever take that away from me.
If you enjoyed this reading and want to hear more, subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Please hit the like button and check out our playlists of funny stories, stories about unhinged people, or tales of nightmare neighbors. You'll find those lists and many more. This has been Tales by Rachel, where we breathe life into every story.